Hello, what's going on, guys? Psychic Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review / rant on Terminator Genisys. Terminator Genisys is directed by Alan Taylor and stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Emilia Clarke, Jay Courtney, and J.K. Simmons. So, the story is basically this. If there even is a story. And though the human resistance is close to being Skynet, but Skynet secretly sends the Terminator back to 1984, aka the first movie spot, and then Kyle Reese goes back in time to volunteers to go back in time to protect Sarah Connor, but it turns out when he gets there, it's completely different and everything. It's already Terminator's already killed and everything, and so they decide to go to 2017 so they can stop Genisys from happening, which is really stupid. The story is just a mess. I mean, it messes with the timeline, and it's just atrocious. It's hard to follow. The direction it was taking in was just not the right one at all. It's really hard to follow, and it also with this timeline stuff and also completely like makes the first two ones, aka the only good ones in this franchise, to never exist. It's almost like they're out of ideas so much with this, that they decided, to say, hey, you know what? I know it's a good idea. Let's make the first two non-canon, and the three ones that and the other two that other people hated canon, because isn't that a smart idea? It's just completely ruining that and everything from the first two. It's just stupid. I mean, basically what I described the story already shows how bad the pacing is. I mean, it comes from the first act being like it goes back in time to 1984, a whole bunch of stupid shit happens, and then in the second act they go all the way into the future to 2017. It's just a mess. It's seriously, like I keep saying, it's just a mess and everything. It's just terrible pace. Anyway, in the third act, not really much happens. It's just has a terrible climax where they just has some terrible action, which the action in this movie, like I said, the first two movies had some amazing action. And what did this movie have to offer? The same thing. Things, just a bunch of gun shooting and everything. I mean, this could make me sound like a hypocrite, but so I mean, the action is just nothing in this way. I mean, it's so much more entertaining in the first two movies and anything. Like I keep saying, these 3, 4, and 5 movies are nothing compared to 1 and 2 and everything. So really, what they did with John Connor's character, though, will never be forgiven, honestly. It'll never be forgiven. It's stupid. They made him a Terminator and made him a secondary antagonist to go around. I mean, it's stupid in every way. I really hated what they did with this character here. I mean, John Connor as a Terminator just sounds completely outrageous, because it is. It's stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. And so, why make John Connor a Terminator? Seriously. Honestly. I mean, they could have just simply done rehashed another villain as the main villain again in this movie, and I would have given it a better pass than doing this. Seriously. And to make things worse for John Connor's character, Jason Clarke did a really bad job with the acting. Like, it was just terrible. I mean, he may be worse than Christian Bale did as his character in Terminator Salvation. And this is the third time he was miscasted. Seriously, how do you miscast someone 3 different times? It makes no sense. And, yes, like, seriously. Both Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese, the two main protagonists in this, are just terrible. I mean, they're completely ruined. They're well-developed characters from the original, just ruined in every way. Yeah, shape and form. And seriously, I mean their bond's not even good. And like their love story relationship's not even good in this. I mean, it was well developed, really well in the original. Here, what do they just do? It's terrible. It's forced in every way, and just the ending where Kyrie talks to his younger self was supposed to be heartwarming. Well, guess what? It wasn't heartwarming. It was terrible and a very forced moment. Just like this. And either way, because Kyrie's character is just their characters are just basically the same, except Sarah Connor is just a little bit different. She just has a different backstory, everything. And just to make their characters worse, I mean, the actors, Jake Courtney and Amelia Clark, didn't do good at all. Like, not even close. I mean, their chemistry with each other just doesn't work. Linda Hamilton and Michael Biehn was much better for the roles. These guys are just terrible in every way. And it turns out Skynet's just this thing, a Terminator thing, and it's just stupid. I mean, apparently this is supposed to be the main villain story, has like 10 minutes of screen time or something like that. It makes no sense. It reminds me so much of Ares from Wonder Woman from last year, just completely wasted in every way. It doesn't even show up until the climax. I mean, really, he doesn't do anything relevant until the climax, to be honest. It's just stupid. This character this is probably by far the worst villain that this movie could have had, and probably the worst in the franchise, in all honesty. Honestly, it's just completely wasted and is nothing, honestly. In Terminator, on the other hand, here, I don't really like this character that much. I mean, I don't like how this one that completely messed up the timeline and everything, and goes back. I guess Sarah Connor becomes like the best budgeted, which is the very forced bonds and just a terrible bond, and just really it doesn't make any sense. Like this movie has characters it's just terrible if you compare him to his character in the first 2 movies. And his character is just completely wasted in this. Just honestly. So we got the T-1000 was here in the first act for some reason, and he was a badass character in Terminator 2. What was he here? Nothing, honestly. He was in this movie because reasons. He didn't need to be in this movie at all. It made no sense whatsoever. Like, honestly, why was he even in this movie? I don't know. She's just in the first act because reasons, and then dies, basically. or is destroyed since its machine just honestly it's stupid. And the CGI in this movie, it's gotta be the worst CGI in the franchise. Honestly, it looks terrible. It just like the stuff that's over John Connor as the Terminator. I mean, it just looks fake. You can clearly tell it's CGI. It just looks awful. And like honestly, and the CGI, in general, other than this, is just terrible as well. I mean, there's nothing to say good about the CGI. It's atrocious. I can at least give Terminator 3 and Terminator Salvation, at least that's somewhat decent CGI. The CGI here is just awful. I have one positive of this movie. That's right, that's it. One. And it's Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance. Literally, that's it. He did a great job in this. That's about all I can give this movie, because, and he does good in every single movie that he's in, at least, but that's all I can give this movie, in all honesty. So overall, Terminator Genisys is an unnecessary film that was absolute garbage, and is one of the worst movies of 2015. So I'm gonna give Terminator Genisys a 0.5 out of 10. That was my review / rant on Terminator Genisys. And so, you'll probably see me next year for Terminator 6, which I really don't think needs to exist. The only thing is, I can't imagine it being worse than this. That's the only thing I could give it, but yeah, it probably will be worse, because that's just how this franchise works for some reason. Other than the second movie, it's been getting worse and worse as it goes. Like, seriously, why are they making a Terminator 6? Who knows? But anyways, what are your thoughts on Terminator Genisys? Tell me in the comments below, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.